Hello, everybody. What a turnout. This is awesome. It's very humbling. Coach and I were laughing. The last thing we told each other was, whatever we do, don't forget our glasses because we can't see. So glad I remembered mine. What a historic day. This is absolutely a historic day. Before I get started, there's a couple people that I want to thank. First and foremost is our president, Dr. Wade Roos, who could not be here today. He's in Baton Rouge and Lafayette signing an articulation agreement to steal students from UL. So I said, Coach, go do that. I'm sure he's watching right now, so good job, Doc. Our senior vice president, Dr. Kedrick Nicholas, thank you guys so much. April Broussard, thank you. The entire executive leadership team. I also want to thank Ms. Bridget Martin, John Limke, and especially Matt Fontenot here. Matt, so you all know, was the guy who drove me around thousands of miles in the last week. He answered the phone at 2 in the morning on multiple nights. His wife, Mallory, thank you for allowing that. We ate a lot of meals at Waffle House, so it was a great week for us. But thank you, Matt. Last but not least, there's one special lady I want to thank, and that is Chantel Viator, right here. And we have something for you here, Chantel. And thank you for sharing Coach Viator with us one more time. So we really appreciate that. Today is a defining moment. It's a defining moment for McNeese football. It's a defining moment for our university, and it's a defining moment for our community. The interest in this job was absolutely overwhelming. The interest also solidified what I truly believed in my heart, that this is a very, very coveted job. This is a special place. And you can't talk about how special this is without talking about how special the people are. And every coach that I talked to talked about the fan base. And McNeese football is a regional and national brand. Make no mistake about it. And when I talked to all the coaches, and we talked to many of them, through the process, they all wanted to know, like any good coach, tell me about the budget. Tell me about facilities. And when I opened the books and I showed them, they were all blown away by the commitment that we have made to this football program. And the consensus was simply, McNeese football has lost its way. And McNeese football is also a sleeping giant. Well, guess what happened today? This giant is now awake. And McNeese football is now back. Our successful history was built on a few intangibles: grit, toughness, structure, community, and sound fundamental football. Today, we are getting back to that formula. When the decision was made to make a change, there were 7 characteristics that I put on a board that I thought we desperately needed in this program. And I want to go through all 7 of these with you. Number 1, I wanted a comprehensive plan. I wanted a coach who was organized, who was structured, and will hold everyone in the organization accountable to a higher standard. Number 2, I wanted a coach who truly embraced the culture here in Southwest Louisiana and understood it. Number 3, I wanted a coach that was a true leader and would be an ambassador for this department, for this university, and for this community. I wanted someone to come in here and recruit the footprint, our footprint, which made us so successful for so long, and to reestablish the relationships with so many coaches in this area that were simply neglected for years. Number 5, I wanted a coach who was a grinder, who truly loved football, that their life was football. Because when you have someone like that as your leader, coaches and players will follow them. Number 6, I wanted a proven winner who would run a comprehensive program that would make all the young men in our program not only better football players, but better students and better men. And finally, I wanted a coach that truly understood and embraced the standard and the expectations we have for McNeese football. That standard and expectation is simply, and I've went on record saying it, is to compete for championships and become nationally relevant. Well, after all the miles and all the Waffle House meals and the meetings and the interviews, I came to one simple concept. If we want to get back to the standard that we all expect here, why don't we go get the guy who actually set the standard? Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome the new football coach, Matt Viator.
Thank you. Coach, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I don't know how to put into words how grateful and honored I am to be here again. But to have this opportunity just means a lot to me and to Chantel, and to there's certain things that throughout my career that I go back on and I remember, and unfortunately most of them are bad losses that I still remember, but there are some good memories, and one of them was I was the interim head coach here, and the late Sonny Watkins, who I adored, he came to my office on a Sunday night, and Coach, come with me, we're going to take a ride. So I get in the truck with him, and we pulled up on campus, and we got out, and we took the elevator up the 4th floor, and it was dark, and I don't know, it was probably about 8 o'clock that night, and we walked in, and Dr. Hebert was standing there in a windsuit, which I'd never seen him in a windsuit. And anyway, and Dr. Hebert said, Matt, Sonny and I have been talking, and we want to take the interim tag off, and we would love for you to be the full-time head coach. And it was really a cool moment, to go back and to think about things because of the history and our family history with McNeese. My mother and father were proud McNeese graduates, both of my brothers, my wife, family, and McNeese held a very special place in our heart. My dad always spoke of how McNeese changed the trajectory of his life, playing for Coach Duvall, and the tremendously high character that Coach Duvall had, and it talked to him and stuff. And so anyway, that was a huge moment for me in my life, and to have an opportunity to do it again, I mean, this is really special. So I want to thank Dr. Roos, obviously. I want to thank Coach Schroer, Matt Fontenot, Miss Bridget, Matt Bonnet, Pam LaFosse, Kathy DeVilliers. Now, I'm saying that because anytime you're here for 17 years and there's somebody that's still here, I guarantee you they can pull the plug on that. Like, oh, who, Matt? No. No. Don't bring him back, please. And the fact that they didn't, I really appreciate it because they were all first-class people, and to have the opportunity to come to work with them again is really special for me. I want to thank my wife, Chantel, obviously, who's been this through me and with me. And, not only is she my wife, she's my best friend. And we fought this together, for a long time in this business. And, man, she's been right there with me, and I appreciate it. My mother, Linda's here, who has been with me this whole way. And she and my dad obviously had a huge, huge impact on my life. My niece, Samantha's here. Anyway, I appreciate my family, obviously, for being here and being with me for this. A couple things I do, looking at what I've tried to been doing here in the last couple of days. Number one, putting together a coaching staff. That, to me, is the number one priority for head football coach. And God, I've been so blessed through the years to work with remarkable people. And, that's the starting building block for me to put the staff together, and I've been fortunate, and I went through the same process I've always went through, and I don't even know who I learned this from, but I've always stuck with it. Number one, good people. I want somebody with high character and understands it's about the players, it's not about them. Number two, understands something about the culture here at McNeese and will embrace it. Number three, I've always tried to talk to people and get a feel of people, because you have to have good communicators. You have to have people that can teach. But more than that, I mean, you have to be able to take young men in there or recruit and be able to communicate. I mean, really be able to bring the message to them. And the last thing I always look for is, what do they know about football? Because I've always thought, if you don't have those first several things, it doesn't matter what you know about football. And we will do that again. Been blessed to talk to the guys on this staff here, and I'm going to continue to do that and speak with those guys. I think I heard something the other day that I think is a little misleading for sure, but Matt's gonna, he's just gonna hire McNeese guys. That's not true. I don't know where that came from. Do I like to hire McNeese guys? Absolutely, no question. But if you go back and look at the staffs here that we had and I worked on, for every Lark Abear, for every Lance Guidry, for every Slade Nagel, and those guys, what they did for this program is phenomenal. We had Manny Michelle, we had Roderick Fobbs, we had Landon Hofer, we had Artie Aselta. Go down the list. Chris Hampton, who's a DC at Oregon now. So my thing is what I've always wanted to try to do here, which I think has been passed down from Coach Kiesler and the coaches, Brookhouse and Tate, and what we've all tried to do is, I want somebody that actually has a regional knowledge and a regional presence, and they appreciate what this place is about. They appreciate McNeese and Lake Charles and stuff more than you have to be a McNeese graduate. So I'm going to go out and try to get the best people we can. And as Coach Shore was saying, I want people to embrace McNeese and embrace Lake Charles and feel what I feel about this place. And we were fortunate enough to do that through the years, and I'm positive that we'll get it done again. Had a chance to meet with our football team yesterday. Seemed like a bunch of great young men, and that process and going through that, and change is tough. And I told them that this is not easy, and for them, for anybody else that's involved, and they have to go through a process, and I always use the Dr. Martin Luther King quote, change is inevitable, growth is optional. And told them that yesterday. Change is inevitable. I mean, things happen, and wasn't your idea, and probably nobody asked you your opinion, but what we have a choice in is what's optional is how we're going to grow and how we're going to learn from that change. And so kind of challenge them to have an open mind and think about it a little bit and come to a really good conclusion about their future. The transfer portal is here to stay. So yes, we do have some guys in the transfer portal, and that's everywhere. So that's not a McNeese issue. That's an issue everywhere in the country and stuff. So we're going to have to manage that, obviously. But my job right now, first and foremost, is, and I told them that yesterday, I want everybody in this room to come back. I've never bought into it, and maybe I'm wrong. I've never bought into it, and I never will. They're McNeese football players, and when I signed the line with Dr. Roos Monday and saying I'm the McNeese football coach, they are mine. So the notion of I got to get my players, they're my players. So I got to do everything I can with those guys. I also challenged them also. I said, with that being said, how many people in here think there's going to be a few changes? Well, yeah, okay. You have to be willing to change and to do things a little bit different, but as long as you're willing to do that, I want you to stay here, and I'm going to do everything I can to give you a shot to make this happen, and that's what I plan on doing. Recruiting, we've been on. I think we signed 3 kids today, but what I did, the coaches, I think the assistant coaches here, I think did a phenomenal job. Their professionalism and what they've done with this process, and what I did is get on the phone, and if we have promised somebody that they could sign today, then we signed them. It's, I don't believe in that, and you hire a coach on Monday, and then, you call them on Tuesday and say, oh, sorry, and they've planned this. So we did sign 3 kids today, but reached out to the kids that McNeese had talked about, they talked to and stuff, and like I said, I appreciate the staff here, I really do. I appreciate Aaron Ingram and all the coaches for their professionalism in the process that we went through here in the last couple of days. Look forward to working with the head coaches here at the other sports. I think that's important for me to do. And I'll tell you this, I thought this was really cool. But yesterday morning I got out of the car. I actually went back to Lafayette Monday night once I found out what we were doing, I had to go get clothes for all the events of the next days and stuff. So I was getting my stuff out the car, and a guy was jogging by, and anyway, and he took off his headset and said, "Are you Coach Viator?" "Yeah, how you doing?" "Will Wade." And so I appreciate Coach Wade for doing that. He obviously didn't have to do that, but we stood out there and, I don't know, talked for 5 or 10 minutes, and we have a couple of mutual friends, but I thought that was really cool and what he's obviously been able to do here in the impact he's made here. So I look forward to, I told him, I said, "We'll come pick your brain now. We'll come over there and we're going to talk." But obviously look forward to working with him and Coach Kennedy, and I'm not sure the whole staff, but I am sure Justin Hill was here when I was here. James Landreneau was here. Brendan Gilroy was here. Drew Fitzgerald. So anyway, I look forward to seeing those people. And I was thinking in my mind, too, as much respect as all those people have, I think they could have pulled the plug on this, too. He's not that guy. So I appreciate them, and certainly look forward to seeing those guys again and working. To all the supporters of Cowboy football, thank you. I'm excited to be here, and to the former players, the texts I've gotten, and it's just really been overwhelming. I'm talking about players from back, and first thing I do is come in on Monday and to see Dr. Nicholas, to see Ked and what he's done. That was the first. I had to sign a contract with Dr. Roos and Ked when I came in, but from he and all of the former players and stuff, it's been exciting. And so I look forward to working with the entire community and being in the community, and having an opportunity to visit and all the booster clubs here. And I've told people this, that have talked about what separated us from everybody with these booster clubs. Make no doubt about it. What separate, and when I was here, it was us and Sam Houston, and it was us in this school, it was us in that school. What separated us? I'll tell you what separated us is that people were willing to come up here and work and give their time to help these student athletes. Nobody else had that. I don't know if y'all know that. Nobody else in this league had that. So I'm looking forward to, really looking forward to getting back with the Cowboy Club members and getting in there, the members of the quarterback club, and getting in there and like I hope I always did. I always appreciated them, and I always told them I appreciated them. And I'm going to hire coaches here and players here that appreciate them, because they don't have to do that. And I appreciate them and what they're doing. In closing, I do want to say this in closing, and there's going to be, I've read it and I've heard it, and I know Coach said it a while ago, and it is all true. I guess I am going back, so to speak, but I really don't see it that way. This is a different place. And I've been gone, I guess, 9 years now, somebody said, and this is a different place, starting with Heath Shore. And I think the vision he has, and how he's funded football and what he's done. I went to a function, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, I guess 4 years ago, and Heath came and sat next to me, and he was the interim athletic director and the head basketball coach at the time. And we sat there and had a 15-minute conversation, and for 10 minutes he told me how bad football had been funded all these years. Almost fell out of my chair, and I believed him. And if you look at what he's done and what he's tried to do for football, and I appreciate he and Matt, because they really did something obviously I've thought about maybe could happen again someday, but what they did and talking with me and assuring me and showing me the vision of the place and all that, I really appreciate that. So yes, I guess I told the players that, I said, okay, I used to coach here, and I think, Bridget was in there and Matt, and I think they'll tell you, I spent about 30 seconds talking about when I used to be here, okay? Because it doesn't matter. Not to them it don't, and really to me it doesn't, because, I want to move forward. So am I coming back? Yes. But it's a different place, it's a different time. I told the players yesterday, I said I would be an absolute idiot if I thought I could walk into this facility and do what I did 9 years ago and win. The game's changed. Recruiting don't even look anything like what it looked like. And so if I'm not willing to change, and hopefully the work I've done since I've been here, I'm a better version of myself. But we have to do things different. So, like I said, am I going back? Sure. I'm in the same place, I guess. See a lot of the same people that, been friends, and I'm excited to see. But because of Dr. Roos and because of Heath and because of Bridget and Matt and all the people, this is a different place. It's a different time. It's a different era of college football. Every time I turn around, Chantel and I laugh. It changes every month something's different in college football and how it changes. So, yes, we are back, but I wouldn't be very smart to think that I could just walk in here and, we're going to do the same thing we did 9 years ago, and this is going to be because this is the McNeese way. We got to make a new way. The McNeese, and I appreciate Coach saying that, but I can promise you that I didn't set the standard here. That standard was set a long time before I got here, by great coaches and great players. They were a part of that. I was fortunate to come here and build on it. And so what we would like to do, what I'm interested in doing, is starting a new standard. In other words, hopefully the same results, but setting a new bar for us and, moving this thing forward with what we have here now. Because we got some really good young men in there. I've been fortunate to be in this business, and, man, kids are great. Kids today, no. You tell me in the age of NIL and all this that you wouldn't have took the money. It ain't their fault. I mean, it's their fault? No, it's not their fault. It's a system. The system has evolved, and and we have to evolve, and as the adults and coaches and stuff. But no, I don't. Kids are great. I mean, they're absolutely, and I've always said this, and it is nice. A player or two will say, Coach, I learned so much from you, and I don't know what I learned from you, but I don't know what you learned from me, but I learned a whole lot from you. And I had a great 3 years in Lafayette with those guys. First class program, Dr. Brian Maggard, Billy Napier, Michael Desimo, and I told Coach Des the other day, and who we recruited. We recruited Mike when he was playing at Catholic in New Iberia, and he came out the year before Derek Faroux did. And great player, great guy, and I've been blessed to work for him the last couple years. And he said something. I said, look, I don't know what I did for you, but I can promise you I know what you did for me. And I appreciate that. So I appreciate those guys and what they did and let me hang around there. And, hopefully I did a little good there. So thank you so much. Appreciate everybody being here and seeing some really familiar faces. But, again, I don't have the words how truly, truly grateful I am to be able to come back here and have an opportunity and to be here. So I see him right there, but I think my best text so far was from Dr. Wilder. Dr. Wilder said, Coach, the team doctor, so you got the rest of it licked. So I see you, Doc. I appreciate you, sir. Look forward certainly to working with you again. So anyway, thank you very much, and go Pokes, huh? Thank you.